Here's what you need to know about the iPhone XR. It's Apple's least expensive iPhone of 2018, offering a lot of the same features as the more expensive $1,000 iPhone XS, as well as several cut corners to help get the price down to $749. First of all, the 6.1-inch display is LCD and not OLED. The resolution is lower. It's still a Retina display as it hits that 326 pixel per inch index, but it's not quite as sharp as the XS's display, and the contrast isn't as good. We also have slightly thicker bezels around the display. I really like the screen size. It's a very good middle ground between the iPhone XS and XS Max. There's also only one 12 megapixel rear-facing camera sensor, so you're not gonna have a telephoto zoomed sensor to play around with. It still has a portrait mode that works via software, and it works very well to isolate people and blur the background accordingly. You get a nice depth of field for people, but because it uses just software, it doesn't work with objects like the XS, since the XS uses data from the telephoto sensor. With that said, overall image quality is going to be right on par with the iPhone XS. You can capture brighter photos with plenty of detail to rival the very best smartphone cameras on the market. It really just comes down to whether or not you need the telephoto sensor and the ability to use portrait mode on your dog or an inanimate object. Chances are you probably don't need these extra features. Oh, and the 7 megapixel selfie FaceTime camera is the same on both smartphones. It can capture some great results, but there is some skin smoothing as a result from the phone's aggressive HDR mode. The other big difference is that the XR does not feature 3D touch like the XS. Instead, it uses haptic touch to try and replicate the same functions. The problem is that it's limited to the flashlight and camera on the lock screen or adjusting control center settings. More functionality is reportedly coming, but there are some functions I really wish were here, like the ability to view app shortcuts from the home screens or move the cursor around while texting. I never thought this would be that big of an issue, but it's actually the biggest issue I have with the XR. I actually really enjoyed these 3D touch features, or shortcuts if you want to call them, that were found in previous iPhones, including the iPhone XS, thanks to 3D touch. But that's really all that is different. The XR has the latest and greatest Apple A12 Bionic chip, although it does feature slightly less RAM. There's a total of 3 gigabytes of RAM as opposed to 4, but you will not notice this performance difference. Apps open up extremely fast, and you can quickly jump between apps running in the background with no problems. Games will run just fine. The XR is one of the fastest, most capable smartphones on the market. You also still have those stereo speakers, one speaker up front and the other down below. The battery life is actually better than the iPhone XS and XS Max. It features a 2942 milliamp hour battery compared to the XS's 2658 milliamp hour battery. You can expect between 5 to 6 hours of screen on time per charge, which is really good. Wireless charging is also available, as well as fast charging, but you will need to buy a special cable and wall adapter. So starting at $749 with a bunch of different colors to choose from, the iPhone XR is the new iPhone I can recommend for most people. I just don't think the average user will be able to justify spending an extra $250 for a few extra relatively minor features like 3D touch, a telephoto sensor, and higher res display with thinner bezels. If those features mean a lot to you, then by all means, I think the iPhone XS will be a fantastic smartphone for you. But if you're trying to save a little bit of money, you cannot go wrong with the iPhone XR. With that said, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on the XR in the comments down below. As always, I'm BoHD from PhoneDog.com. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you right back here in the next one. See ya.